So, like, I'm here, right? And just looking at artists, different artists and art, thinking about their journey, and then I come to Tyler the Creator. Well, actually, I come to Ryan Nguyen, probably on the end films. Never seen him before. It's a 6 minutes video. It talks about how to sell like an artist. And at this point, I'm thinking about, well, I have to self-promote. I have to sell my stuff. I mean, I've been creating so much every day, almost. Some days I take breaks. But I'm on it. I'm on it while I'm doing other things. I'm on it while I'm not doing other things. I do it in so many different ways, and I have been creating this dynamic story around it, and just thinking about how to make it come together. Ryan Nguyen, I think that's his name. He talks about this interview or this speech Tyler the Creator had, like a small speech, about how he didn't understand the younger generation much because he didn't know if they were too shy or, what it was, right? Because they would put so much time into creating something, editing something, putting music on it, and all that, and then post it on the story once. And that struck me, I think, just as hard as it struck Ryan. It reminds me about this one time when I was thinking about, I have to keep telling the story about this piece, because otherwise it's not complete. Like, the full story is not there. And I'm reminded by it, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, that is true. Why would I make one piece once? Why would I tell a story about One Piece once? Just a short Instagram story that doesn't say anything, that doesn't give anything of clarity. There's no clarity to what I actually felt, what actually I'm experiencing, what I'm actually feeling, either to people that would follow me or to myself, more importantly. Because when I create, I'm creating because I'm trying to unearth something deep inside. And when I'm putting it onto a canvas, I'm starting to see it unravel. And yes, it is true that I've been making these drafts of writing and memos, of voice memos and video memos about my artistic life, my life as an artist, my life as a meditator, my life as going through this journey as I am in. But yet, I do know that once I posted something once, and then I've put so much material into creating a story, theme around it, but then I would just post one thing about that one thing. And it's funny, really, because I thought more about continuity, But this doesn't mean that continuity disappears. It just means that I'm taking more time to talk about something, slowing down and giving a more visual expression of, well, what's on the pedestal, so to speak. It's like, I remember creating a painting, and of course I have it, and it was a digital painting since I created it digitally, and I wanted to see it enlarged, in its full form. So I put it on my 64 thumb TV, and I filmed it. And then I filmed it that one time, and I looked at it, and I was sitting, and I was just filming, and I was just looking at it, and that was that. And then my parent came, and my older brother came, so they were worried about me about something, because I was being isolated, creating art, not doing anything else. I was isolating myself. I wasn't calling anybody. I wasn't meeting my friends, things like that, because I was so invested in just creating, which is normal for an artist, but they didn't get it yet, So I remember putting up this video camera on, and I took my chair from the kitchen, and I sat in front of my TV, and I put And I filmed when I was telling them the story about this painting that I made and my life around it. And that's 2 videos about the same thing. Yet, somehow it didn't fully click on me that I was telling very little about my journey, after all. Not to myself, I am. Since I am creating these voice memos, I am listening to them, I'm going back and forth. But it's not enough. I had it to myself, or especially to my followers that follow me. They don't get to hear more about the thing on the pedestal. The thing that I cherish so much, that I put so much time and effort into it. Why am I only talking about it once? I found that strange. Also, when I look at my conversations about self-referential work, referring back to your own work in other words, it's in the same avenues, in the same venue. So no, this hasn't been completely lost on me. It's just I've always had this thought that I was tying these things better, but in a way I am moving forward and I'm not really giving that red line of thread that much clarity as I thought that I was. And I should be. Really. And for that, I'm happy that I'm having this conversation right now. Reminding myself of my self-referential work and about being your work's greatest fan. What do fans do? Well, they talk about what they love all the time, instead of talking about manga as a whole. You might be a fan of Junji Ito's Tomoe, and you speak about that specific Tomoe chapter in his work, instead of speaking about all of manga, right? Or maybe we'll talk about one specific panel, one panel in Tomoe, and you keep on talking about that one panel instead of just talking about it once. And truthfully, it makes more sense because you're really building a world around it. To learn for yourself how much you love it, and to show others how much you endured and what you went through while looking at that one panel.